Now, we've had a lot of good starts, regular starts, how to maximize your experience in every single MMR range, but this Emerald game will showcase what do you do if you are compromised, if your start time is lower and someone else's is at the regular position. What I mean by that is we're going to go on an invade here. NIDALEE is compromised, so Karfus will be able to start at 129. The NIDALEE will not. How can she possibly recover any tempo loss through intelligent pathing? Now, the red team here obviously got this invade to see where the NIDALEE goes. They're going to keep the pressure up to get some wards and almost kill her. She should have walked all the way. We should put a ward down here if we can. As long as you chase enough to start on your buff, that's great. If, of course, you miss the start of your camps, don't overchase, right? So this is great. Oh, yes, yes, fist it. There you go, triple fist. NIDALEE now is really compromised, okay? So the anecdote I have to you is something that I'm going to cover more extensively in the private Discord, but really what we're talking about is I was invaded late here by this volley bear. Normally, you can be stubborn and say, let me fight and coin flip and die. Don't do that. I left. I started on the wolves. The volley bear gets this, this, and this. So I do this into this. I didn't use my flash. I lost some HP, but I can still have good sequencing. Then I do my blue buff. Enemy mid rotates over, wards my blue as I'm doing it. You follow? I kite upward as if I'm going to this top side quadrant, even though I'm like, well, if I get late invaded by Volibear in his top lane, I probably lost this whole quadrant. So I decide to cut down good pathing and I go for the red. If he's here, a little bit of coin flip, not really, just high risk decision. He shows top lane. Boom. That's it. All control, gank into this one, reset, retake this one, retake this one, retake this one, retake this one, sequence all the way down, and I control my jungle again. The NIDALEE here will be in a little bit of a different situation because she's not going to lose her camps, but the Karfus will be significantly faster at clearing than she will. And that's in essence what we want to talk about here today. If you are behind in tempo, through whatever mechanism, your fault, their fault, they do something, you make it, it doesn't really matter. We're in a rough place. The best thing you can sometimes do is let him go ahead and do his thing. Do not coin flip invade. I see too many times NIDALEEs, bel'veths, kindreds, they'll be in the situation, they go for the coin flip invade. What we can do, of course, is do our blue side quadrant, which we go ahead and do. How nice. We watch the mid lane events here. If you can collapse and get a gank off and a shove, if you're one of those kind of junglers, that's a good way to do it because you're not going to be able to match the full clearing tempo. The Darius here, as we get up in MMR ranges, as we go through all the MMRs in this new meta, total jungle guides, you see he respects the fact that the Karfus is going to be here and thus bases. Amazing. NIDALEE now can do this and obviously look at bottom lane. Okay, opportunity here. Will Flash is burned? No. Our team has Flash here, which means if Thresh, once he hits level 3, we'll have the... He has the Flash flame now, but you want the Lantern as well. Now, while the NIDALEE does this red here, the Karfus is going to go on a little bit of an adventure. He's going to say, right, I know NIDALEE started topside. You absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching, coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else. All of this available through a premium jungle Discord, which is highly active, a huge community that help each other climb using my jungle program and courses. As we have seen by everybody hitting their peak rank goals in Split 1 and Split 2 of Season 14 as fast as possible. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. It's Emerald. You should know from the ward you placed that she started topside and is going down. I don't know why he's pressing Q in the bush. Just leave your ward down and off you go. He doesn't do that. NIDALEE could gank this before doing Krugs, assess that, but decides to let Thresh get level 3. She wants to get level 4, and then she wants to click on the Lantern, and off we go. We're in the wave here. The red team pings it perfectly. The Thresh doesn't get the flay off. And, he dies for first blood, but the NIDALEE should be able to respace here, form swap, heal, hit a Q, and keep the Kai'Sa from dying potentially as well. Trap goes through there, nice swipe, and we got it. Now, we see the Karfus here having done 28 CS, gets that kill there. NIDALEE does not have a smite up, and she's going to go and contest this and push it out. Here, I admire the gumption. However, what I would assume if I don't have smite is that I simply don't want to be here. Help the Kai'Sa push this out more than worry about the Scuttle Crab, okay? Try and get this to crash so everyone can reset and your bottom lane will be out of the map, off the map by the time Karfus comes on down. Now look, he's going to go in here, ward this, right? That'll give him control. When you are behind in any sort of clear tempo, and I cannot stress this enough, the best thing you can do is give up all of the lost moments, right? So think of it like a championship. In racing, if you could go ahead and guarantee that you would win the championship by getting second every single race, would you do it? Jody Scheckter did it in a Ferrari, South African driver, many moons ago. I want to say 78 or 79, my brain is not working right now. Regardless, the NIDALEE here sometimes has to say, right, I'm second to the Scuttle Crab Wars. I'm second to my third rotation. I am second to the first objective take. But unlike that racing environment, you can also snack away a couple wins if you accept that. Here, we can win by ganking first, which we did because Adair suspected it. Here, we can win by shoving this wave out, going back to base and saying, look, sir, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. I'm just going to go ahead and do my second sequence and think about something else. I'm not going to try and win the first phase or second phase of the game because I'm behind, right? So I'm going to let you win. And because enemy junglers don't often think like that, they will be concerned about why you just let them get things for free. Basically, I'm just saying, do your thing, man. Do your thing. I'm relaxed. So if you give this up and shove this and go back to base, now what you can do is if the Karfus crosses mid lane, which of course he does and goes for the bottom scuttle and stays out through vision, hey, because you're Karfus, I know that's available. So maybe I can just cut up and counter jungle these two camps, right? And then maybe impact the top lane. Ooh. Nice. So there's where you look for those gaps, okay? By just saying, look, I'm going to be second first rotation, second in the Scuttle Wars, but maybe I can use that to be first in the championship. And that's the way you got to think, right? Battles and wars, races and championships, you got to think big picture in the jungle at the moment. And now the Karfus decides to stay out, which is astronomically hilarious because he could be so much quicker with Faded Ashes. He doesn't care though. Thresh is now rotating up to the top side. We don't know where the Karfus is exactly, but all of these problems that the NIDALEE is going to be having, and the Karfus will be very close to level 6, is whoa, nice spear hit. That was close though. All of these problems are because she didn't accept being second on the Scuttle Crab. Now Karfus is just going to go back to base straight up. I mean, this particular case, why base after Raptors though? Go Krugs and get out. Like, you've basically just seceded control to the top side because you didn't base. This is dumb. And of course, the Karfus could have played it better, but is what it is. The problem is with the NIDALEE. She was behind in the first clear, when maybe you wouldn't be by as much at all, but she still could have ganked first, which she did. She still could have shoved the wave out and gone back to base for a second rotation. Yes, but then she could have been first in counter jungling, and that would then deny the Karfus. So when you're behind a little bit early, I want you to think like this. It's a mental state more than anything. Like the late invade for my example, all right? The late invade for my example was, have my top side, I will go here. Oh no, mid laner. Well, that sucks. Well, what can I do now? And really, when you embrace that, okay, I'm losing camps, you're always in a better position. This here is dumb. She gets free Krugs, which she should not. He's basing to come to this side to go for this one, again, with the exhaust, which is great, but I still don't like the pathing from the Karfus here. I feel like we should have been in a better position to counter gank this, and honestly, if you wanted to do the grubbies, that's great. You should be in a great position to do the grubbies no matter what, but, you know, it just feels off that he just leaves the Krugs up for the NIDALEE to take for no particular reason. And now, obviously, he's going to go for the grubs, and we're going for this grub fight straight up together. NIDALEE has Sulk Brutes plus Amtome, and again, she's trying to battle when she doesn't quite have the map behind her. Thresh is mid lane, right? Rakana's mid lane. Darius isn't in the situation at all. What could we do here that would be better for the championship, for winning the actual game, than coin flipping, losing our flash, and going into the grubbies? I don't want to results basis by, look at the Darius winning the fight for me. You know, this is just a low scenario play. I don't like these kinds of plays whatsoever. What is going on, Streamlabs? Anyway, it's just something you don't want to have to deal with as a jungler. I will give this up 9 times out of 10. If I can't contest it and don't know if the contest, I'll just clear all the way down. I'll clear into a counter jungle, into a gank, bottom lane, into a shove. I'll take the free dragon. Done. Vice versa, same thing. If I can't do the dragon and I wanted it for some reason, I normally don't. All right, have it. Top side counter jungle. I don't want to quantum these scenarios. Now, the Karfus here is the one that could have made the decision. What he should have done is just gone to the Krug, gone back to base, and then said, look, these are going to be respawning, this is respawning, this is up, these will be up. Have the Grugs, NIDALEE. Have the grubs, NIDALEE. I don't really want them. And he should have done that. And then, of course, he's in a better position. So it goes both ways. Now, the NIDALEE benefited directly from the Karfus's inaction. And that's where you have to recognize a couple things as an Emerald level jungler. Did I dominate like someone who's going to be Diamond? Or did I get lucky because the enemy Emerald jungler made a bunch of mistakes? And yeah, granted, I capitalized on them, but it wasn't my jungling that was the thing that was determining the win, right? Nice hook. There's a Karfus ult. Obviously, that should be enough. Nice job by the Philos there. And here's the thing about Karfus, my friends. If he just goes ahead and does his business on the Conqueror, NIDALEE there, fully stacked up. Here he comes. Hui showing up as well. Double kill. She's done a great job. Honestly, she's done a very solid job of actually being on the map here, getting these ganks off. And again, that's because if you understand where you just have to be second, you can win in other ways. Now, Karfus, I don't know. Once he took the top scuttle and ganked mid lane, I love that. He should get this for free, which he does. Great, now I can base in full sequence again and maybe can test this and just kill everybody, take the grubs for free. Sure, but if you want to stay out there for no particular reason, finish off the Krugs, at least fully commit to your play. Base, Faded Ashes, you got bottom side respawning, you got Dragon, you got all of this counter jungling you can do. Give her the grubs for free and you will get more in return. And the NIDALEE wants you to play down to this level, but at the same time, if NIDALEE does this against most good farming junglers, she's down 15 CS already, 16 CS, maybe even 20 CS. And I loved the early, I'm just going to clear and be slow. Karfus is pathing in the other direction. That's also a big thing, right? You know, the Karfus pushed her out of a red side jungle. He starts in his blue. She goes top side. Why is that crucial? Because I need to path opposite to him because he's going to be faster than me and stronger than me. I don't want to invite invades. So she starts top to go down, knowing she's going to be slow on her first clear because of the compromised tempo. It's great. It's great. And that's what everyone's saying, but isn't that, you know, being first everywhere? You know, I have the ability to be first, yes, technically, but sometimes it's a chess move and you're setting things up. That was a nice flash hook. I do enjoy that one. Phyllis is a pretty strong. Whoa, baby, that was well played. Disgusting damage, disgusting ult. Very well played. I like the play from the threshold. Look at this. So here's less of a, like, is this a good gank or not? It's a fine gank. Karfus decides to just full clear down and look already. 9 CS lead will be a lot more because of the death. Decide what do you want to accomplish here. Who's a snowball component? I look at the KDAs. You look at the KDAs. I see my ADC is 133, 3.2k gold, and the Phyllis is 321, 4.1k gold. How can you always tell? Can't, but I can see no plates taken. I see a couple plates taken, plus higher kills, plus higher CS. Is this a lane you necessarily now want to double down on? You know that Karfus is eventually going to accept sooner or later, like his name there. Full sequence, full sequence, full sequence, and he will really take it to you. The NIDALEE here, I think, needed to play more around the Darius topside quadrant, and now because she's really strong, get in the face of the Karfus and take him out of the game. That's where she could have done things, but she chose to gank the losing lane. Doesn't go well. Nice play by the Thresh, and now of course she's going to lose all of this as well. Look at the CS. They were really close, and now it's almost 20 already. He's falling back to this. Sequencing isn't perfect. NIDALEE will know he's here. She scans and cleans up. Karfus is like, whoa, I better be careful. The Rakan shows up to rotate. NIDALEE's trapping in the bush. It's about as much as she can do here. And obviously, they all know she's there. Warded and seen, spotted, and cannot be redeemed. So, overall, what I hope you take away from the early phases is when you are behind an enemy jungler at something, figure out what you can do better than them and when you can do it better than them and really drive that point home. Secondly, in this particular meta, do not coin flip as much as the NIDALEE is coin flipped, and as the Karfus as well, you don't need to coin flip, right? You win every mistake she makes if you just have good baseline. Yasuo now kills the Hui as well. Thresh actually hits a hook again. They get free grubbies. Now, NIDALEE, let's use the same logic. There you go. Have the grubs, they're gone. What can I do? All right. We have this up, we have this up, we have this up. This guy's over pushing by himself, but I'm down 2 levels to an ADC. Why is the NIDALEE, who's 422, down 2 levels to ADC? Because she died twice, critical moments, got counter jungled at critical moments, and, my good friends, she contested the first grubs, unnecessarily wasting a lot of time, and got the benefit of results-based thinking because the Darius showed up, and now she's like, yes, I did a good job, when instead, you could have just been winning this lane. And that's the truth, I think. If we just give this up, if Karfus wants to go ahead and do it, Then bounce, take all, gank bottom lane while it's still a gankable lane, shove it, take all of this stuff, fall back to the dragon. Karthus is nothing, he goes back topside. Where do I go, says Karthus, because there's no camps to take. That's like knuckle pressure, right? Is a jungler. It's really what you want to see. This is great at different parts of the game. Now it's fine. You got the Thresh moving with you. I'm okay doing this, even if you're totally blind and your tracking's being shit. You can go for these plays when you have a good Thresh and you're still a fed NIDALEE, right? But why is this only happening at 30 minutes? Gold amount here is at 5.7. Like, we're at the right position for gold. Our experience is just sorely lacking overall. Huge though. Now we know Karthus will come down to the bottom side. We know that Fearless is something that's just turning these fights and getting stuff on the way back. We see the Rakan over here. We have the MAI by the way. We see the Yasuo show briefly on the Raptors. Karthus now goes around this side. Doesn't see the NIDALEE until now. And of course, they're already on the dragon. They're like, oh, let's just do this and force this fight. That's okay too. But obviously, teamfighting positioning is important. Let's see what they go for. Right now, you've got numbers advantage here. All right? As a blue team, you've got 4v2. Affiliates can always rotate. Now, in theory, you should be able to win a 4v2 fight. Can you win the 4v2 fight, though? If you can't, this is not good. And of course, if the Affiliates rotates over, that's also not good. It's also a Thresh. Another Thresh at Karthus with Exhaust. I cannot tell you, based upon what champions you play, if you think you can win this fight. All I can tell you are my champions. In this exact situation, I would probably try and burst them out on my Zyra and things like this. I know I can do that. So the fight is won before Affiliates rotate. If I could not win the fight before Affiliates rotates, I'm not really interested. Okay? We got a Herald up here. We lost for the Grubs. I can give this and take this and counter jungle this. Again, always the overarching element here for Emerald junglers is, should we contest or can I get more somewhere else? And the contest is something a lot of you don't know yet for your champions, for your environments. And it's okay to fail there, but next time you know, right? Like, maybe that's not the best place to go and fight for us over this dragon. I think we should see more of this. I'm trying to look. Who are you ulting there? Harvest is changing, obviously, of course. You know, the first strike has changed, runes have changed. You know, the meta and the jungling and the game is very different overall. I just feel coin flipping the fights that they did this game is just unnecessary as a strategy. I still think the Karthus' part thing was weird. Like, why base after Raptors when you can finish the second sequence and then you want to contest and do it, go for it, but you also could have just destroyed the NIDALEE, being up 2 levels in exchange for 3 grubs. And I always feel like delayed gratification for junglers is such a powerful concept as well. If I can just give a few things up and be up 3 levels, I can do more with that than I can do by just fighting everything. She's level 9 at, she's not even level 10 at 1539, and he's just level 10 at 1539. So by reference, most great Karthuses will be level 11 at 14, latest maybe 15. At the very least, you're like 10 and a half at 14 minutes, right? Like, you have to be. So this guy's way behind. Why? Because he didn't jungle properly. So the NIDALEE looks like she's doing a better job than she is because the enemy jungler is making a very bad, he's a bad influence, a bad example to kind of reference. Because now people look at it and be like, well, you know, the NIDALEE has more gold than the Karthus and she's not that far down in CS. Well, that's because the Karthus played badly, not because the NIDALEE played well. Although I did like the counter jungling here, likewise the counter jungling from the Karthus, that was good. More of that will happen. All in fight, 4v3 advantage. And honestly, in these kinds of games, if you can't win these 4v3 advantages, the question is, why can't you? Because you should be able to. Kaiser's not even in this fight right now. The Nasus wasn't even in this fight. That's solid. That's solid by the Darius. Good rotation there, 3-1-1. Right, we can play around that, see? The winning lane is something you can really snowball. She didn't. She didn't snowball it enough. Died to the Aphelios too many times, and now it's a bit of a rough situation. All right. Okay, then. You see, I'm on the side of all you junglers. We have a solidarity, right? We're on the same team. However, when laners complain the junglers suck or the junglers make bad plays, and you guys are like, but nobody rotated to my grub fight. Nobody helped me on the dragon fight. Why were you doing it if the only way you win that fight is if your team show up? Because if you're taking fights that rely on your team to be aware, rotate to be in your head, these are not good fights. It's better to go and do something else to maximize the moment in another way. And as a jungler, if I'm going for the dragon, it better damn well be free. If I'm going for the herald, it better be something for free that I'm not going to be collapsed upon. Sure, there's some risk where you're like, okay, I'm behind, I need to sneak in. But when you look at this NIDALEE, like, okay, 9 out of 15 KP, okay, that's fine. But she forced a lot. Maybe your team didn't want to force a lot. The Karfus didn't really farm that well. You know, he got a couple of kills here and some assists from his ultimate. And he's down on levels. He's behind in tempo. Both of them have felt like mediocre junglers this game. It's like watching the England versus Denmark game, right? It was just an exercise of mediocrity. Really was. Like, awful stuff across the board. So, from the NIDALEE's perspective, you look at this and you say, well, you know, I did a good job. Ask yourself, fine, what could you have done better? Have the improvement mentality. That's how you get to Diamond. Because if you can't be, as a Karfus, like 40 CS up on this NIDALEE, you're not going to be able to succeed with Karfus and Diamond in the story. Here we go. TP committed. Hook misses. Doesn't really matter. Now we're just going to fight in my place. Yes, let's go. Out of mana. There we go. Meanwhile, Darius is over here fighting the Nasus. Karfus has done his damage. NIDALEE is down here. Should be a kill anyway. Rakan shows up. What is let's catch up here. So she dies while we talk about that in general. She dies, okay? So it's 18 minutes on the clock. They go straight for the Herald. She's gonna respawn. There's the TP. Now she heads towards a Herald on the minimap and then cuts down to the Kai'Sa. I feel like I'd be more inclined to still go to this direction because I want to snack that up. I want to push this out. If Yasuo is down here half HP, sure, you can collapse on him, but are you going to be able to kill him with the Kai'Sa who's 2-6? No lockdown for your Q, and it's Yasuo with winnable flash, ult, barrier. Like, is this a fight that we want to take? Probably not. I would prefer now, with the dead Karthus, with the dead Nasus, to maybe apply some pressure on this turret, take this sucker down, start to open the map up. The NIDALEE did a great job in terms of like keeping her team relevant. So look at this. All of this is an exercise in futility and maybe him just giving us free stuff. Rakan rotates over, of course. Now we're at a position we're forced to flash again. Kai'Sa can't do anything because she's 2-6. I just had an Emerald 2 coaching with a Viego, and we talked a lot about, look, why are you ganking the Rammus mid? That's right, against a Volibear mid. That's also right. When your Rammus has 36 CS at 12 minutes. Like, why are you even going there? You're not going to be able to kill a free farming Volibear who's really far ahead. You can't do it. Look at this. 2 top, multiple Fiesta bottom lane. Instead, I want you to be shoving down mid lane. Open the map up, and we talked about that. Pick the lane, the win condition, you can snowball. At 8, 9, 10 minutes, you should have a good idea of where you want to adjust your pathing to. NIDALEE kept going bottom lane. bel'veth kept getting kills. Didn't snowball the Darius enough. Didn't open up mid lane. And everything that happens here is just a good old-fashioned coin flip, nonsensical fight. bel'veth hits her rather. She dies. It's just, to what end are we fighting in this scenario? And that's always what ends up costing you. Now, the Nasus splits top lane, and you're in this losing game state, and what you guys will do is go and complain about someone inting or doing something dumb. That's great, sure, as long as you acknowledge you also did some dumb things. But now you're letting the Sephiroth push you in, these Yasuo push you in, your map is being compressed. Look at the map here, it's beautiful for red team, it's horrible for blue team. Karthus didn't really do much, a lot of it is ultimate stats here, which people don't obviously like, I don't like. Yeah, I'm gonna go into depth on the recovery game I mentioned, my example of this, I think in the jungle detail, in the course membership Discord. Sorry, like some things I do want to just dish out a lot more like this for the paid community. That just is what it is. I try to give away as much free as I possibly can. 3 channels, free goodness. I'm very active in my public Discord as well. I make Twitter threads every now and then, but sometimes it's nice to make some private stuff as well, you know? Anyway, that I will talk a lot about my correction. I ended up 2 levels ahead of the enemy jungler, like I'm talking about. So you watch this, I would love to see you there to watch that one when it's made, maybe in the next couple days, because it showcases that I'm not bullshitting you about what I choose to do. All of the coaching that I give here, I've used myself. And this Viego I just coached as well, same kind of strategies. Guy was Platinum 1, peaked Emerald 2, that's his highest. Using a lot of what we're talking about here. Okay, they're on the dragon, I'll go to the grubs. Okay, my team are eating, alright, I'll just sequence and control some split push pressure. It's okay. As long as you have high econ per minute, CS per minute, and gold, you're rocking. But now it's just like, Belios, wow, man. This champion. He is destroying them. NIDALEE's just jumping in and dying, granted. But I'd like to say that there's a comeback mechanism. But of course, now it's just really a case of equal teams just running at each other and fighting. Like literally, looking at the timeline now, I opened it up, they're just running at each other. Going for fights. Yasuo can split push, he's got the might. They got 3 dragons. We didn't have any control really over the map. Kaisa is losing. NIDALEE has to base. Like, there's no one on the blue team that was there to take control of the game. And as the jungler, that should be you. I am the one that's going to control my team. And if they're solid, we'll win. If they're inting, I was going to lose anyway, but at least I played well. You're looking for that consistency in Emerald. A lot of mental coaching in this one, but I feel like that's really important for Emerald players to kind of stick to. I'll do another Emerald game. I'll put it different scenario after this one, just so you guys can see what we're talking about in terms of more normal Emerald gameplay, but I think they both go hand in hand. So, a little bit of pick potential there. Darius is splitting top lane. This dragon's available. Nasus is just going to split over there. We're going to go ahead and try and collapse and kill him. She create the space. There you go. Kaisa should be able to do that. Karfus ult. Now he's split pushing. Hey, you know, like maybe we got some opportunities here. Kaisa push up mid lane, please. Not really interested in 2 coin flipping this, but if we can kill them and take it, we'll take it. If the whole team is there, just go for the Baron. Like honestly, if the whole team is on that dragon, for example, or you can't steal it, go ahead and take this. Like let them have soul, snack the Baron up, you'll be in a way better position. Way better position. But the soul, who cares? You need the map pressure. Baron will give that more to you, and with that map pressure you get from the Baron, you can position for Elder potentially. And the NIDALEE goes way too deep. Karfus up again in 18. See that little deep play with 1600. You've just gotten shutdowns. You just kill people. You've just pushed waves out. You've just secured a dragon. Leave, reset, spend your gold. Now you have the gold lead. You literally, through this patience, made picks. You're in a prime position now with the losing game state to win because Darius has opened up their base. You got shoved waves. You got a dragon. This is massive. Everyone should go back to base and reset and spend their gold. Not this at all. And NIDALEE should be the jungle leading this charge. Everyone should be coming out of base now, fully reset, fully ready to go. Not with 1700 gold in the NIDALEE, not with 1600 gold on the Hui. This is all terrible. That misses. But this is all terrible. You are literally trying to siege to end with your whole team, and you have a gold lead, just a little bit, but effectively you don't because you got 3,500 gold unspent on the NIDALEE in the way. So in fact, you're at a 3.5 gold deficit, 3k gold deficit. Gold is only as good as the gold that's spent. Oh, they actually made, you know, we're talking about this mental coaching, and they actually made the mental play. Red team messed up. And here we are, trying to do stuff because we're greeding for the death cap, right? We're greeding for the second needless. We now siege on the bottom lane with the Darius on 2v2, but that's not the issue right now. We got a pretty, Kaisa will scale. She will scale. 3v3 here. You could make this a 4v3. Maybe we can do something. But again, I'm with you guys who are thinking this. I don't really want to fight an Aphelios respawning and coming out of base. Like, I'm not interested in that. Likewise, I'm not interested in this 2v2. Bit of patience. They would have gone a long way. Literally, they just threw the game by not basing and making a proper fight. That sucks. I honestly wasn't sure they were going to win this game. Turns out they're not. Turns out they're not. But turns out they could have actually won it. Yeah, interesting. So, messy game. Not the most theoretically pure, but hopefully some points resonated with you. The Karfus did a good job, 190 CS at this particular stage. The next question is, what do you do once you solve these things and get to Diamond? Well, for that, you'll have the next video to look forward to. But otherwise, GG's.